Welcome back. 9:41. The host of Fox News Sunday, Shannon Bream, joining us live this morning. She is previewing this week's show, which you can watch right here on Fox 35. Good to see you, Shannon. How are you?
I'm good, Amy. How are you?
Good. So listen, we are all very closely watching the conflict between Israel and Iran, and we had some huge developments here in Florida early this morning, as I know that you saw Governor DeSantis welcoming more than 100 people who needed to get out of Israel.
Yeah, and we have seen this over the last couple of years where he was quickly able to mobilize and get those flights and get people home to Florida. I had a friend who was stuck over there in the last week or so, and it was a very circuitous journey to take refugee status in a neighboring country just so he could get out and get a flight back here to the U.S. So it's not always an easy proposition, but I know that folks must be relieved to be home there because there are countries around the globe that are calling their citizens out of Israel if they happen to be in Iran, saying it's not a safe place for you to stay right now. We don't know if this is going to be a wider regional conflict, so good to get home and safely to U.S. soil.
Yeah, the president has found himself in a situation that no president wants to find themselves in, having to make a decision about how to get involved in a foreign war, Shannon. I know that you'll be talking a lot about that on Sunday.
We will, and one of our guests is going to be Senator Tim Kaine. He's a Democrat out of Virginia, and he has been a very loud voice in trying to pull together this resolution to say, listen, Congress has a role here. If you're going to take specific action getting us militarily involved in Iran, Senator Kaine argues you got to come to Congress first. So we're going to have that conversation with him. There are nuances and exceptions to that, but the president is in this 2-week period where he's going to make a decision, and he's pursued the diplomatic option. He said again and again he prefers that, but also has been very skeptical about whether Iran is just dragging that out and not really planning to come to the deal for a real come to the table for a real deal on its new program.
Switching over to the ICE immigration issues, these continue. The protests in L.A. I know continue. There have been some rulings about that, about the president's ability to bring in the National Guard there. All of that is developing. What are you seeing?
Yeah, Amy, you're exactly right. A big win for the administration last night at the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. It was unanimous. 2 Republican appointees, a Democrat appointee. But the 3 of them agreed that the president, as commander-in-chief, has statutory authority to do what he did, regardless of whether the governor there, Gavin Newsom, asked for those guards or participated in that decision to deploy them. So now I'm going to watch and wait to see if Governor Newsom decides to launch an emergency appeal here in the Supreme Court, where, by the way, we're going to get our next round of opinions at 10 a.m. Eastern.
You're also going to be talking to Minnesota Senator Mike Lee. This story, it's crazy. The news cycle, Shannon, has been so intense lately that the Minnesota lawmaker story has sort of fallen to the back burner, which is hard to believe.
I know. I mean, just horrific, tragic, situation there with 2 people killed, 2 others severely wounded by this guy that we're still waiting to figure out exactly what was going on in his brain. I don't know that we'll be able to understand it, but the suspect, thankfully in custody. But Senator Mike Lee out of Utah had some posts in the immediate aftermath of that, that his 2 Minnesota senator counterparts came to him and were like, this is not a joking matter. Take this down. He did eventually take down those tweets. He'll be with us this weekend, and we'll see if he has anything more to say about that. But he's also somebody who's been on the short list for the Supreme Court under President Trump. We're going to be live at the Supreme Court on Sunday, outlining all these final decisions that we're awaiting, including a really big one on nationwide injunctions that could limit President Trump's executive power.
All right, so much to talk about. Shannon, you always do a tremendous job of bringing these issues to the forefront. Looking forward to your show on Sunday. Thank you.
Thanks, Amy.
See you soon.